All right, greetings. Welcome back to Blackburn. For crying out loud. Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected. Hold on. Whew. The minute I start the show, the second I say something, I got the weird interference. All right, how's it going? Welcome back to Blackburn News, where everything is connected and the viewers are smarter than the average bear. How are y'all doing? Good to see you. All right. Rockfinners, hello. We're live on Rockfin. YouTubers, hello. We're live on YouTube. Twitterers, Twitter folks, we're live on Twitter. We live on Twitter. And you know what to do. You know what to do. Sorry. You know what to do. I did it again. What? Wow, this is crazy. That's a Fishbone lyric. Just one particular second of a Fishbone song, which I love. I don't know why. I love this one particular line. You know what to do. Well, it's in the context of the song, I guess. Yes, Rich Diana, not being average is a disadvantage these days. True story. Sure, cigarettes might be the devil. I used to smoke and smoke. Man, I was a big smoker. If you're on Twitter, you know what to do. Retweet, like, comment, by God. Find you the chat box and send me a comment. That'd be super great. And Salt Laker started the chat off with 666. Yeah. Plastics are horrid. Or they're the future, whichever way you want to. They were the future, now they are. They could be the end. Right? It could be the absolute end. Well, this is wild. Just saw this. Man set himself on fire outside of the Trump trial. Say what? You know, there's the big. What? Why? Why would you do that? I mean, I don't know if he's protesting Trump being on trial or protesting. I don't know what you're protesting. There's people protesting Biden too. Things are heating up politically. Well, maybe so. Maybe we're in a lull there for a second. Twitter people, where are we at? Where are y'all at? Or are they just, or are you just not going to be? Oh, that's weird. Okay. Anyways, it's Friday. And we're hanging out. I think the NSA is tuning in. I feel like that's what the. Anyways, why would you set yourself on fire? Is this real? This is really happening? I don't know. Y'all want to watch this post? The fuck? God dang it. Jesus Christ. That's just really weird. Gremlins. Ghosts. Check this out real quick. What?
Oh my God.
All right, there's a fire that has started, as you can see live. We wonder if a person is on fire.
Themselves on fire.
In the fire. We apologize for showing this. Get a fire extinguisher. Do we have a fire extinguisher in the truck?
Running.
Do we have a fire extinguisher in the truck? Connor, bring a fire extinguisher out. Anyone have a fire extinguisher?
They don't want
Hold
it.
on. Let's see if we can find.
We deeply apologize for what has happened. This man.
They're putting jackets.
Eric, we're going to let you
They are putting
address it.
jackets over the body of this man. A man has set himself on fire. They put jackets over him. They're now putting fire extinguishers to extinguish the fire. Someone has set himself on fire in the protest area
Eric?
here at the Donald Trump trial.
Oh my God.
All right, there's a fire that has started, as you can see live. We wonder if a person is on fire.
Themselves on fire.
In the fire. We apologize for showing this.
All right. Hold on one second. Oh, so now they're saying somebody set a man on fire. Which seemed, what the hell is going on? Sorry, guys. I'm just really annoyed by the fact that I keep getting this, like, interference going on. It's disturbing me. Get a fire extinguisher. Put Charlie out. No, that's a fire. A man was intentionally set on fire during a fight. During a fight in the Bronx. Okay. That's last night. What the heck? Okay. Somebody was set on fire last night. Let's find the right article. Man sets himself on fire outside Trump courthouse. But that's messed up. You know, if you're in a fight, you don't want to get bit. You don't want to get kicked in the wrong place, and you definitely don't want to get set on fire. Huh. Well, this is it. This is the only video we have, I guess. It's on Fox News. It's unknown whether the man was protesting the trial. So this is it. Are the Trump supporters that rabid? There is lots of social unrest, Judy, and we're going to see more. I mean, we should see more. I feel like we should see more. I feel like if we don't see more social unrest, I don't know what's wrong with people. Yeah. I saw I'm sorry I'm not I don't know. I'm sorry about that, guys. It's probably my fault. It's probably my fault. Um, what was I saying? I mean, I feel like if there wasn't, I feel like we're asleep right now. There's not enough social unrest. People are sleeping, sleepwalking into serious disaster. You know, there are some protests going on, which is great. You blame it on the bears. The bears might be blaming it on the humans. You're seeing that there are more wild animal interactions with humans lately. The animals have figured out that, you know, they're backed into a corner and they're pissed. And they may not be able to really do much about it, but they may, you know, if you piss somebody off enough, they're gonna lash out, right? If they feel like they don't have any other options. Which is what, you know, we touched on it briefly earlier this week, but, you know, the whole like nonviolent thing is a little bit of a trap, because that's what any animal, and humans are an animal, right? Anybody who feels cornered, trapped, you know, transgressed upon. I just heard a poet talking about this the other day, but if someone's got a boot on your neck, it's only a matter of time before you're going to do anything, you know, anything to get that boot off. And I believe this person was talking in regards to Palestine, but, you know, you could apply that to any situation. So, you know, and that's the thing, this whole, like I don't agree with violence. I don't like violence. I'm not proposing violence. I'm not saying that like violence is the way, but, you know, if you don't have an avenue to change things non-violently, right? Like, you know, or if you don't just go out and push in all the ways. Very famously, the women's suffrage movement was actually full of violence. The union movement was full of violence. You know? And there was violence in the civil rights movement. They don't want to tell you that. That there was, you know, plenty of violence and threats of violence. So, though I agree with the nonviolence, and though I totally, you know, urge nonviolence in every way, shape, and possible, but like if you can't, there's another good quote, which is, right, if you don't have a peaceful means of redress, then you know, then you're going to run out of ways to protest peacefully, and then it's not going to be peaceful. That's all. Rich, I don't know. What was the question, or where did you ask the question? I actually, and I agree with that. Obsolete. Nonviolence protects the state and enables its monopoly on violence. Right. It also acknowledges that the state exerts violence, right? And so that if you do anything violent, that you're gonna that you deserve what you get from the state. Kind of in a way, it's a weird idea to me, and at the heart of it. Thank you, Salt Lakers, for those who make peaceful protest impossible, make violent protest inevitable. Exactly. That's exactly it. That's exactly what I was trying to say. Thank you. So, you can talk about how much you support nonviolence all day, but if somebody feels cornered enough, they're going to lash out, and it's going to be violent or in some way, shape, or form. So, and you can't really be like, well, tisk, tisk, tisk. No. You're going to get some violence if you step on somebody's neck enough. That's what's going to happen. I don't support violence. I just expect it. Eventually, if people are pissed off enough, I expect, somebody, and if you're in power or not in power, you should expect it. You should just expect some violence, because I don't support violence. I just expect it when people are pissed off enough. Oh, yeah, I thought I did. I showed the map. I'm not super close. I'm within a couple 100 miles or 100 miles. No, less than 100 miles. Maybe, I don't know how many miles I am from the fault. Between 60 and 100 miles from the fault. I mean, I guess geologically that's not that far. Yeah, I did talk about it. I'm not right on top of it, but geologically, pretty close. I like that. That's good. Respect existence or expect resistance. Very good. So yeah, I mean, I'm not out here talking about we need to go give somebody what fors and the whatnots and the, I'd rather not see that. I don't want anybody. I really don't want anybody to, feel undue pain. And what I mean by that is, life has pain. And expecting somebody to never feel pain, I think, is a little bit ridiculous. But I don't want people to be oppressed. So that's it. But that's pretty wild. Somebody set themselves on fire outside of the Trump thing. There has been some Biden protesting going on too. I mean, people are upset, and they have a good reason to be upset. Oh, for crying out loud. And this is not good news if you don't want to see Trump be president. When Donald Trump first ran for the White House 8 years ago, protesters filled the streets. No longer, as he runs again with an agenda that is arguably more extreme than his two previous campaigns. Is it more extreme? I don't know. I mean, I'm just asking that. I'm not asking that. I haven't seen anything that's been any different from what he said before. So how is it more extreme? Anyways, mass protests at Trump rallies and appearances are a thing of the past. When Trump returned to New York last week for a hearing in one of his criminal cases, just a smattering of detractors turned up outside the courthouse. In a twist, it's now U.S. President Joe Biden who is facing a sustained protest movement, largely by those furious over the administration's support for Israel and its war against Hamas. During his first major rally of the year, Biden's 22-minute speech was interrupted no less than a dozen times by detractors calling for a ceasefire in Gaza. Protesters repeatedly disrupted his celebrity fundraiser last week with former Presidents Barack Obama and Bill Clinton at New York's Radio City Music Hall as hundreds more demonstrated outside. I mean, I'm upset about both wars we're supporting. Definitely upset about that one. But there was a whole other war happening that everybody seemed to be okay with. It's interesting. Isn't it interesting what people are okay with and not okay with? You know? Isn't it? Like, people were okay with Ukraine probably because of the whole, like, you know, everybody hates Russians and Putin thing, and Putin is a bad man, and he got Trump elected, and we hate Putin. We just hate him, and he's Hitler in Russian, speaking Russian, and he's just going to take over Europe, and oh my God, and he's just the worst thing ever. People totally supported Ukraine, but now they don't support what's happening in Gaza because it's just so blatant, right? But it's interesting. It's interesting. Do you want me to screen share what I'm reading with you? Sure. I was just reading it. But I mean, I just find it interesting that people were totally fine with Ukraine, but not fine with Israel. I'm like, so you're totally cool. Anyways, but mostly people are not knowledgeable about history or the things that led up to a particular situation, right? Or not knowledgeable and or ignorant of and or intentionally unconscious about our role in the whole situation, right? Well, the thing that I hear a lot of people talk about in regards to Ukraine is that, the people of Ukraine and the men and women fighting for Ukraine are, ultimately going to be the victims in this. It's clearly a proxy war. And the generation of the Putin is evil, Russia is bad kind of whole like mentality, it's generated. It is generated. You generate all this hate for somebody so that you can, put them up as the evil person that needs to be fought against, right? And it's very effective. It's the same thing that happens with Trump, right? Like, Trump derangement syndrome to me is ridiculous because clearly Trump is playing a role. Like, he's an actor. It's kind of like hating somebody, right? It plays a bad person in a movie or a TV show, right? They're the evil character in the movie, right? But if you saw them on the street, you would understand they're an actor playing a role, and you wouldn't be like, I hate that guy. Now, you could be upset at them for taking the role, right? You could say, like, well, you took the role, you played this reprehensible character. I think that's not a great thing, but they're an actor, right? So you wouldn't be mad at the person, the actor playing the evil character in the movie. Like, that's what Trump is. He's just there. He's just playing a role in the game, right? Biden's in the same play. He's in the same theater, right? And when they go back to the green room, they're like, "Hey, good job." And Biden is, who know, right? There are a whole lot of things about, Biden, the actor, in the green room, totally different from the actor on stage, right? So it's just, to think that, Trump used to be a Democrat. Trump used, hobnobbed and pallywowed with, the Clintons and everybody else, right? Everybody else, right? He was the dude. He was in the club. So, and then he just suddenly decided to be a Republican and a born again Christian or whatever, or an evangelical Christian. It's like, really? Okay. Yeah, I'm not defending him as a person I'm just saying they're all involved in this kind of stuff, right? I mean, I agree with you, Osama. He also instituted Operation Warp Speed. He also, right? He also oversaw the biggest upward transfer of wealth in the history of this country. Was it the CARES Act? Right? So he's playing, it's just, he's doing the same thing that everybody else is doing. And you can totally dislike him for that. Absolutely. But to put him up on he's a special kind of bad. Is it? Well, I mean, is it? Yeah, it's offensive. It's about as offensive as hiding Hunter Biden's laptop, or all kinds of things. I don't know. Telling Tara Reid to shut up, right? That was a hilarious one. But I mean, they all engage in this kind of stuff, and no, it is offensive. I'm agreeing with you. It's more offensive? And what, I mean, I don't know. I'm just asking, explain to me why it's more offensive than, I mean, I don't know. It's like, I mean, that the Biden administration is trying to go after the people that have released Ashley Biden's diary. Do you know what's in that diary? Do you know what's in that diary? It's kind of not a contest between who's more reprehensible, but it's for anything that you could bring up about Trump that's really horrible, I could probably bring up something about Biden that's even worse. Just saying. And that's not, it's not as a defense of Trump. I'm just saying there's no, this one is worse than that one. There is none. There's none of that. They're both horrible people. Horrible people. Max Sarjay says he's the only president that gave me $1,000. Biden says he's going to give me money, but he never did. That's interesting. Wait, didn't they give? I'm just asking you, do you guys know what's in Ashley Biden's diary? Do you know what's in Hunter Biden's text messages about his father? Do you know what is in that? Just I'm asking if you know. That's correct, Gene. Neither Trump or Biden are steering the ship anyway. I'm just saying, and they're trying to prosecute the people that put out the diary. They're going after them, legally. Instead of anybody going, "Hey, do you guys can we have some acknowledgement of what's in the diary? Can we actually acknowledge what's happening in this diary and maybe look into it? Can we have somebody held accountable for that, for the things that are purported in the diary?" I don't know. And Trump has multiple sexual assault cases against him, multiple. Yeah, I'm down with it, Gene. Why are we picking the worst? Let's just say the real people who are in control of the U.S. are evil. Evil people. Yeah, for sure. I'm not saying any different than you are. I'm not saying any different than you are. I'm just saying it just is like, it's weird to me. Yeah, like I'm not yeah, I don't support Trump at all. I think he's a dick. It's just, people will go to that point where they're like, well, at least this guy didn't do this, or that guy is really bad. But I see people running the blue. The blue has got to be better than the red somehow because the Trump. Oh, okay, really? Oh, by the way, guys, I'm gonna do. I know we're getting all deep in the political talk. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if it's helpful. I mean, I don't, but the cult on both sides is strong. The cult is strong. The blue cult is strong. The red cult is strong. And it's cool. I love chatting it up with y'all. What's up, Rockfin people? It has been the truth. The truth. Build Back Better has been a disaster. Absolutely. That is the truth. And you could probably argue correctly. You could probably argue correctly. Some people think that Trump is being, facing lawfare, or he's being, and maybe he is, or maybe this just makes him look better, right? He always skates, Teflon Don, right? He always skates. Maybe it just makes him look persecuted. It gives him a bit of the martyr shine. So everybody could point to, but they're going after Trump. This Biden administration is bad. I don't know. It is interesting, though, and maybe it's just all part of the play, perhaps, but it is interesting, though, that, Biden has been not a nice guy for a very long time in government. For a very long time. Not a good guy. Not a great guy. Not a nice guy. And I've has anybody ever, has there been any, I know that they talked about trying to get him impeached, but has there been impeachment hearings? Has there been any hearings looking into what Biden is doing or done in the past? Right? None. Never. None. Zero. And that doesn't necessarily mean that he hasn't done anything wrong. It's just an interesting thing. Gene says Ukraine and Gaza all have a Build Back Better plan funded by the U.S. Yeah. All right. So Biden has been seeing lots of protests. Don't you know? All right. We haven't really even talked about anything. Osama says the major parties could conduct live human sacrifices on their podiums during prime time, and I doubt that anybody would notice. Probably not. Didn't Trump say one time I could shoot somebody in the middle of the street and people, no, I wouldn't lose any followers? That's a weird thing to say. That is a weird thing to say. Salt Lakers, is Google eliminating half of your comments? I mean, I don't doubt it. You said you had Trump on a gold crucifix? Wow. Anyways, oh, I forgot to let you all know at the beginning of the show. I am doing a music show this Sunday, and I'm trying to have a possible surprise guest this Sunday. But about 4 years ago, I released a record that was inspired and or commentary on climate change and what we were doing to the planet, and I released it on Earth Day in 2020, which was right at the beginning of the pandemic. So it was a really bad time to release a record. It was a difficult time to release a record. I actually had a record release party all lined up, and it was at the Bernie Sanders headquarters in Los Angeles. I had the venue lined up. Good friend of mine had it all set up for me. And it was going to be a big deal. I was going to release a record. So the pandemic kind of kicked off like a month before I released a record and kind of screwed up the whole thing. And everybody was stuck in their houses and all that. So anyways, I'm going to do a little bit of, a tiny bit of a celebration or a visitation on the record on Sunday, which is the day before Earth Day. So I'm going to do a couple songs from that record this Sunday at 5 p.m. Pacific time. And like I said, I might have trying to get a friend to join me to do a little, sharing the experience a little bit. We'll see what happens, but at the very least, I'll be doing some playing. I'll be doing those songs. I'll be doing a couple of other songs, but we'll be talking about the record and discussing this and that. So if you want to tune in for the show, I'm going to drop the link, and hopefully we'll see y'all there. It's at kevinsandbloom.com. Just go to kevinsandbloom.com. It's not hard to find. But I'll drop it in there. I'll drop the link in too, just so y'all can check it out. And drop it on YouTube. I'll drop it on Rockfin. And of course, if you guys want to, support the show in any way, all the links are down below. You can super chat, super Ray, super no Ray me, and all that kind of stuff, right? And I do appreciate your support. Nice, Gene. You're going to do a nature walk with some children? Very nice. I wonder creative experiments. I wonder about that. When the economy collapses in a few months, not even Trump will satisfy the public's anger. It's interesting. I don't know. I wonder if, do you think they'll do that before the election? Or I would imagine a better thing for them, a more likely thing in my mind is to just hold on, have the economy just holding on until November, and then drop the hammer like right after Christmas, or beginning of 2025, like January, and have it all fall apart. I don't know. Yes, Rich Diana, I did get it. Thank you. I appreciate you. Yes, sir. You didn't hear me read that yesterday? Did you just bump into Rockfin and bump right out? I did get your contribution, and I thank you. It was very generous. Thank you, Rich Diana. I appreciate it. I did get it. All right, This is crazy. Compilation of today's severe downburst in Guangdong province. Some citizens claimed it was much more strong than a typhoon, or stronger than the strongest typhoon in the city. And Aaron K posted this asking, WTF is this? What is it? It's called extreme weather. Oh, sorry, guys. Everything is very... You have a hard time with Rockfin? Well, what the heck? Guys, I don't know what is going on. Get some sound on this. Like a crazy... This is...
抖音 抖音
All That is wild, though, right? Extreme weather doing it to you. Trying to go through some posts really quick here because we did a lot of talking. Or I did a lot of talking. No, we did a lot of talking. This ad ran 28 years ago. They say 28 years ago. They say in 30 years a burger and fries could cost $16. Chuckle, chuckle. A vacation, $12,500. Chuckle, chuckle. A basic car, $65,000. Knee slapper. No problem. You'll eat in, you won't drive, and you won't go anywhere. Wow. They were right on the money with that one, weren't they? This is from Leon Simons. So calling it high, I'd like a wake-up call. The 11 hottest months on Earth in the last 100,000 years all happened in the last 11 months. The first half of April 2024 was easily the warmest April. April 1st to 15th on record, according to Copernicus Era 5 data. We would somehow need to have only the sixth warmest April 16th to 30th to avoid setting a full monthly record for April. So the temperature just keeps going up. Anyways. Let's look at this from David Wallace Wells. Or The Hill via David Wallace Wells. By the way, I do appreciate everyone's support. It really is helpful to keep this channel going. And there's lots of ways to support the channel, right? Other than your likes, your comments, your views, your shares are all very, valuable. Is he David Wallace Wells is a Guy McPherson plagiarist? Is he? I didn't know about that one. I mean, I feel like people come to the knowledge in a particular amount of time. Although David Wallace Wells is still a little bit not quite as doesn't get to the doom with all the gusto that other people do, I guess. I don't know. Oh, really? Why haven't I not heard of any of that? Guy has been complaining about David's antics for years. Huh. Has he been plagiarizing him? I don't know. It's interesting. I have not heard that, so. Interesting if true. Plastic industry heats world 4 times as much as air travel, report finds. Pollution from the plastics industry is a major force behind the heating of the planet. You don't say. How many ways can plastics destroy the planet? The industry releases about 4 times as many. Anyways, pollutions from plastics industry is a major force behind the heating of the planet, according to a new report from the federal government. The industry releases about 4 times as many planet-warming chemicals as the airline industry, according to the paper from scientists at the Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory. Its emissions are equivalent to those of about 600 coal plants, about 3 times the number that exist across the U.S. Its emissions are equivalent to those of about 600 coal plants, about 3 times the number that exist across the U.S. The U.S. has 200 coal plants. Wow, that's still a lot of coal plants, don't you think? That is a good example of adaptation, creative experiments. You know how many people I've seen have their vacations ruined by bad weather lately? Oh yeah, we went to the thing and there was massive flooding, massive weather system, and we had to go home. Anyways. If plastic production remains constant, by 2050, it could burn through nearly a fifth of the Earth's remaining carbon budget. That seems awful conservative. By 2050, it could burn through nearly if plastic production remains constant. I mean, I thought I'm operating on the understanding that we live in a capitalist growth paradigm, which means that it's all the plan is to get bigger, badder, and more dirtier, right? I know I'm messing up English. Right, everything is on the up. They're planning to do more mining. They're planning to sell more cars. They're planning to drill more fossil fuels. They're planning to build more airplanes. They're planning to make more plastic. So it's not going to remain constant, for one thing. Everything is going to go up until it goes straight down, which actually could be the stock market this year. It's already happening on some levels, right? The stock market just kept going up, 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 up. Everybody's like, man, I can't eat any food, and I don't have any money, and I can't pay my bills, and I don't know. And a lot of people are going homeless because they don't have any money, and the stock market just goes up, 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 until it goes straight down. Its emissions are equivalent to those of about 600 coal plants. Why am I reading the same thing over and over again? Anyways. The amount of carbon dioxide climate scientists believe can be burned without tipping the climate into unsafe territory. That's the carbon budget. The idea that we have a carbon budget is actually a knee slapper. Guys, we have this much carbon we can burn before really bad things start happening. Even though it's hotter than it's ever been. The oceans are hotter than they've ever been. There's more extreme weather than there's ever been. There's more flood events than there's ever been. There's more droughts than there's ever been. It's, things are already spinning out of control. But guys, we have a carbon budget. And if we don't burn all that carbon, well, then we're safe. Yeah, I know. The last week has been a pretty brutal. All right. For the stock market, that is. And it's probably going to go down some more. Report from the National Lab comes out as civil society and public health groups Plastics industry representatives and members of national governments prepare to travel to Ottawa, Canada for the fourth meeting of the International Negotiating Committee, which seeks to create a legally binding treaty to reduce plastics pollution. Legally binding. Really? Do you think this is going to be successful? How are they going to do this? What are they going to package things in? In what way can you reimagine or remix certain chemicals together and call them not plastic? That's what they're scrambling to do right now. These negotiations are likely to be split by stark divisions. Representatives of environmental groups in countries across the global south have called for limits on production of plastics. While the plastics industry insists that plastic pollution can be eliminated by stricter rules around recycling. I'll read that again. Plastics industry insists that plastic pollution can be eliminated by stricter rules around recycling. Yeah. In last fall's negotiations in Kenya, public health and environmental campaigners focused on the dangers posed by plastics, including microplastics and nanoplastics, in the human body and the environment. We are already filled to the gills with this stuff. Filled to the gills, but these negotiations left out a key part of the plastics problem. The Lawrence Berkeley researchers note the role of plastic in climate change. Again, how many ways can plastic destroy everything? It's already infiltrated, all of our food and pretty much everything we touch, and even it's inside of us. And they're also spitting out GHGs. Though many plastics companies have goals to zero out their carbon emissions by mid-century, current plastics are almost exclusively made by fossil fuels and with heat and energy generated by burning fossil fuels. One likely area of contention at next week's conference will be whether to focus climate efforts on making certain steps in the plastics production process more environmentally friendly or on reducing the production overall. Well, definitely reducing that production overall is that's the correct answer on the board. And by reduce, I mean eliminate, as in no more. Do you think that's going to happen soon? Do you think that'll be you think the symposium on plastics will reach a legally binding solution in which plastics will be eliminated from the planet? No. The researchers found that more than 75% of the greenhouse gases generated by plastics are released in the steps before plastics compounds are assembled. As petroleum products are extracted, refined, and converted into monomers, the building blocks of common polymers such as polyethylene or polyvinyl chloride. More than half of all plastic emissions, 57%, also come from just 4 plastic polymers: high-density polyethylene, polypropylene, polyethylene terephthalate, and polyvinyl chloride, our old friend polyvinyl chloride. All right. I'll just put it on the screen for you, Osama. Anyways, plastics industry argues that the supply chain can and must be rapidly cleaned up. We expect production will continue to increase over time as demand increases over time. That's of course. Right? Of course. That's how it goes. But what the production looks like and the applications that plastic material is used in is going to change dramatically. Let's go back to this. The supply chain can and must be cleaned up in the plastic production process. Yeah. Environmental campaigners argue, however, that the harmful impacts of plastic can most easily be reduced by reducing plastic production. Just not making it. Just don't make it. How about no plastic whatsoever? Well, what do we do? What do we doodly do if we don't have plastic? And what's going to happen? Well, while global leaders are trying to negotiate a solution to the plastic crisis, the petrochemical industry is investing billions of dollars in making the problem rapidly worse. Yes, they're planning on more. They want more plastic. They want more oil. They want more, we want more of everything. That's the plan, is for more of everything. There are no plans for less of something, of less of whatever it is. There are no plans for that because there's no seed money for that. I don't know. Maybe we could do a crowdfunding campaign I don't know how you're going to do this, for tearing up roads or tearing down buildings or tearing out infrastructure. Of course, there's no permits for that. I don't know. Yeah, exactly. Where is the away that people keep throwing stuff? No, not that one. Sorry, Tim Bob. That's the one. Anyways, this is wild. While global leaders are trying to negotiate a solution to the plastic crisis, negotiate. Harumph. We're going to sit in a room. What are we going to do about the plastic problem? We're going to sit around going. While they're trying to negotiate a solution to the plastic crisis, the petrochemical industry is investing billions of dollars in making it worse. We need a global agreement to stop this cancerous growth, bring down plastic production, and usher in a world with less plastic and less pollution. Does that deserve a laugh track? I don't know. We'll just leave it there. We'll leave it at that. All right, guys. That was enjoyable. Thanks for hanging out with me today. Appreciate you all. Rockfinners, hello. Anyone who believes exponential growth can go on forever in a finite world is either a madman or an economist. Thanks, Osama. Huh. Yeah, guys. Good time hanging out with you today. Thank you for your eyes, your ears, and your conscience. Thank you for the conversation. And hopefully I'll see you all on Sunday for a show. And I'll definitely see you back here on Monday at 11 a.m. Pacific. And thanks for hanging out. Until next time, peace.